think we got a signal of a possible economical downturn, aka recession, coming to the economy. But we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about what that leading indicator is, the report that came out today to justify that, and all right here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned in to the Investor Show. As always, this is your host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming live all the way to you guys and girls from the beautiful state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. Drop some comments if you got some comments below. Hit that bell icon to get notifications that they drop. And if you want exclusive content, log on to our new patreon.com. But as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So here we go. If you pay attention to my podcast, which is pretty much streaming on any major platform that you have, you probably heard my episode that I made, Are We Headed to a Recession? And into that episode, I talked about leading economical indicators. I did not believe we were heading to an economical downturn because I was paying attention to our leading economical indicators and the reports that had came out. First of all, the trade talks don't really concern me because I figured, looking at it financially, that the U.S. will win in the trade talk war type deal. So I didn't pay attention to that long term. But one of the things I do like to pay attention to is actual factual data, because trade talks, when Trump says something, the president tweets something and says something like that or whatnot, we all, it creates fear or greed within the market. So I didn't want to jump up into all the volatility of the market of just going off of a tweet of what somebody said. I like to look at economical reports and data. That's what we're going to do right here. So one of our leading economical indicators that I have highlighted here is number 2, manufacturing activities. Right? Manufacturing activities is another indicator of the state of the economy. It influences the gross domestic product, right? Strongly. An increase will suggest more demand for customer goods and in turn a healthy economy. Moreover, since workers are required to manufacture new goods, increasing manufacturing activity also boosts employment and positive wages as well. So manufacturing activity is a leading economical indicator, meaning it will tell you where the economy is headed right now. Because think about it, in order for me to go out here and buy a new couch, somebody has to make it. So when somebody is making it, that means that the hours are increasing. The more money people make, the more money they usually spend, because we live in a consumer-based society here in America. So manufacturing activity is big, because when a demand for when people make more money, they like to buy more stuff, which means that people like manufacturing companies in the manufacturing industry, they have to make more stuff. And when they're making more stuff, that's a good indicator that the economy is probably going to go forth and do good. So people love to look at the manufacturing activities, because the more stuff that people are making, the more the jobs they have in the manufacturing industry. That means it could speak of a good economy, right? It's a leading indicator where the economy is going. So when manufacturing activity starts to slow down, that means the economy in the future could be slowing down. Because when stores start, or let's take me for example, I'm an author, I write books, right? When an increase from my product increases, I call my manufacturer, they make more books. When people stop buying my product, I don't call the manufacturer, so they start to make less books. So when it comes out next quarter, people are going to see, hey, he made less money. So that's why manufacturing activity is very important. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to click over here, and we're going to go to, this is a report that was put out today by the Institute for Supply Management. I actually went up and looked up the real report for y'all. Look at that. I'm not going off what somebody said. I got the actual report. It was released, guess what? September 3rd. For release, September 3rd. It came out today. Here it is. Economical activity for the manufacturing sector contracted in August, and the overall economy grew, right? Because guess what? I'm not really caring about the overall economy grew. I'm looking at manufacturing sector contracted for August, because this is a leading indicator. It's not going to affect the economy today or tomorrow. It's going to look down the line. You're going to see the economy start to slow down, because I just kind of gave you that idea of why manufacturing is so important. Here it goes. These are the key factors. The August PMI, which is the Purchase Manager Index, if I'm not mistaken, registered at 49.1, a decrease from July, a 2.1% decrease from July. The New Orders Index decreased from July. The production index, it decreased from July, right? The employment index decreased from July. So, hey, why is employment important? Because we want to see how many people are you hiring. If you're laying people off or you're not hiring as many people, that means you're not making as much stuff. If you're not making as much stuff, that means that companies are ordering less products. If companies are ordering less products, that means companies are going to make less profits. And when companies make less profit, that means they're going to start laying off people, cutting off people, unemployment, all of the good stuff like that. Profits go down, the price of the stock goes down, right? So that's why that's important. The employment index, it decreased from July. The production index, that's important because we want to see what you're doing there. How much stuff are you making? If you're slowing down on stuff, that's not good. New orders, that's pretty self-explanatory. If companies are not putting in new orders, if I'm not calling the manufacturer and say print up some more books, how could I be making a profit? So I'm concerned about that. The employment index. Also, the supplier delivery index registered, it decreased as well. Supplier delivery, you watch that index to see how many supplies are being delivered. If people are not delivering things, that means things are not being sold. Not good, right? Going into the future of the economy. The inventories index, right? The inventory index increased. I don't like inventory increasing. When somebody has a bunch of inventory laying around, that means they're not making a bunch of sales. So that's another thing, right? The price index, it increased as well. And when the price index increases as well, that could be a trigger for inflation. Why did the price increase, right? Here we go. August, right here, you're seeing right here come from the board. They say August saw the end of the PMI expansion that spanned 35 months. It was a steady expansion, softening over the last 4 months. Demand contracted for new orders, consumption, and you can kind of read this report itself here. It's pretty much saying that, we're seeing a slowdown. Now, does this mean it's the end of the world? Recession is going to happen tomorrow? Oh my God, or whatever the case would be? No. But I am putting that into my bank. This is a signal of a near future economical downturn being from one of our economical indicators. And I want to share that with you guys and girls. I'm going to put the link to this report in here so you guys can read over yourself. But this is why I like to look at economic indicators, because these are things I like to look for to the future. All right. So don't forget that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. If you like this video, you smash that thumbs up button. If you hated this video, you smash that thumbs up button anyway. But until the next video, podcast, cartoon, book, or whatever else you see me do crazy around the globe, peace, be safe. I'm out, and thank you.